Hello, dear students. I am Professor R.C. Sharma from Kota. I am a retired professor of chemistry with about 50 years of teaching experience. I have taught chemistry at all levels, right from the first year undergraduate to MSc and MPhil classes. During last 20 years, in association with leading institutes, coaching institutes of Kota, I have guided a large number of students for IIT JEE and NEET examinations. Due to this vast teaching experience, I have come across a large number of misconceptions, shortcomings, and even erroneous explanations at many places in various topics of chemistry. These misconceptions prove to be very much deceptive, at least for those students who are going to appear in these prestigious competitive examinations. With this thing in mind, today in this video, I would like to talk to you about some of the common misconceptions found in the study of buffer solutions. So let us begin with the first misconception. The first misconception is about the types of buffer solutions and their pH values. All of you know that buffer solutions are generally classified into two categories: acid buffer and basic buffer solutions. For example, an aqueous solution of acetic acid and sodium acetate in a proper molar ratio makes acid buffer solution. And similarly, ammonium hydroxide or aqueous ammonia mixed with ammonium chloride or ammonium sulfate makes a basic buffer solution. The common notion among the students is that pH of acid buffer solution is less than 7 and pH of basic buffer solution is more than 7. It is but natural to say because pH of acid solutions are always less than 7 and for basic solutions it's always more than 7. But this is not true. This is not true for buffer solutions all the time. Because the acid buffer solution may have pH or may be of pH more than 7 and similarly a basic buffer solution may be of pH less than 7. I would like to illustrate my point by taking a very simple example. You must have read in the organic chemistry, nucleophilic addition of cyanide ion or hydrocyanic acid on a carbonyl group. For example, consider the reaction. acetaldehyde reacts with hydrocyanic acid. It's a reversible reaction, of course, to give cyanohydrin. The mechanism of the reaction is quite simple. Cyanide ion, that's a nucleophile, attacks upon the carbonyl group. Due to that, an alkoxide anion is formed, which takes a proton from water to form the cyanohydrin, and OH ion is made free. But my intention is not to discuss this mechanism. I want to tell you something different. That is, do you know the experimental condition for this reaction? That experimental condition is that this reaction can neither be carried out in highly acidic medium nor it can be carried out in highly basic medium. This reaction is carried out in a solution whose pH is 10 or nearly 10. And for that purpose, we treat the carbonyl compound with aqueous solution of sodium cyanide and hydrochloric acid taken in 2:1 molar ratio. The question is, why do we take sodium cyanide and hydrochloric acid in 2:1 molar ratio? Suppose we take 2 moles of sodium cyanide and 1 mole of hydrochloric acid. Then sodium cyanide will react with hydrochloric acid to give a weak acid, hydrocyanic acid, and sodium chloride. Since we had taken 2 moles of sodium cyanide in the beginning and 1 mole of hydrochloric acid, initially there was no HCl, no NaCl. At the end of the reaction, 1 mole of sodium cyanide would be left behind. Hydrochloric acid, being a limiting reagent, will be completely consumed. 1 mole of hydrocyanic acid will be formed with 1 mole of sodium chloride. Formation of sodium chloride is a material because it is a salt made up of a strong acid and a strong base, which does not undergo hydrolysis, and hence it's not going to affect the pH of our solution. The important thing is we have 1 mole of sodium cyanide and 1 mole of hydrocyanic acid. This is a weak acid whose Ka is of the order of 10 to the power minus 10. That means its pKa is nearly 10. So these two form an acid buffer solution, because an acid buffer is that which contains a weak acid and its conjugate base. The pH of this acid buffer solution can be calculated using Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. According to that, pH equal to pKa, that is 10.0, plus log salt upon acid. Salt is 1 mole, acid is 1 mole. Therefore, pH comes out to be 10 or nearly 10. So, this illustrates my point. We have prepared the acid buffer solution whose pH is more than 7, it is 10. So, it should be clear now that it is not necessary that the pH of an acid buffer solution is bound to be less than 7, it can be even more than 7. And similarly, pH of a basic buffer solution can be less than 7. This is all about the first misconception that I wanted to tell you. The second misconception or misconcept is about the concentration of salt in Henderson Hasselbalch equation. One interesting thing about Henderson and Hasselbalch is this, that none of these two was a chemist. Henderson was a medical practitioner in USA and Hasselbalch was a Danish physiologist. They were working with the pH values of different types of solutions to be used in their fields, and they came to the same conclusion about the pH of upper solutions almost at the same time, and hence the combined name Henderson-Hasselbalch is given to the equation for calculation of pH of acid or basic upper solution. Well, my point is that when you use the equation pH equal to pKa plus log salt upon acid for acid buffer solution, or POH equal to pKb plus log salt upon base for basic buffer solution. In these two equations, the salt does not mean salt. Salt means the concentration of conjugate base or acid. Consider the following example or a question. Suppose we take 100 milliliter of 0.1 m acetic acid mixed with 100 milliliter of 0.2 m barium acetate. pKa value for acetic acid, let us take it approximately 4.74. So what is the pH of this buffer solution? This can be calculated as follows. The number of millimoles of acetic acid is equal to 100 into 0.1, that is 10, and similarly number of millimoles of barium acetate is equal to 100 into 0.2, that is equal to 1. Now if you substitute these values for acid and salt directly in the Henderson equation, then pH will be equal to 4.74 plus log salt 20 upon acid 10. So this comes out to be 4.74 plus log 2, that is 5.04. But this is the wrong answer. Guys, it is the wrong answer. Why this is wrong? Because the concentration of conjugate base is 20 into 2 equal to 40. Because 1 mole of barium acetate will provide